Have you ever spent 20 minutes arguing with AI only to realize the problem was not that the tool was broken, but the prompt set the AI up to fail? Beginners often lose time while speaking with AI, not because they are bad at tech and not because AI is only for experts, but because they repeat the same tiny mistakes over and over. One sentence prompts, vague feedback, too much information, conflicting rules, and trusting answers before actually checking them. So today, I'm going to show you the top 10 mistakes beginners make that waste the most time, the diagnosis behind each mistake, and the cure that fixes it. And I'm giving you prompts and frameworks you can use every time the AI gives you something generic, wrong, too long, too risky, or just plain useless. Hey, I'm DK, and if you'll do me a favor and hit like, subscribe, and click that notifications bell to all so you don't miss a moment. Mistake number one, using one sentence prompts. This is when you type something like, write an email to a customer, or make this better, or create a social media post. So our diagnosis here is that the AI does not have enough direction. It's guessing the audience, the tone, the goal, the length, the context, and the format. And when AI has to guess six things at once, you usually get a bland, unfocused answer. So our cure here is to brief the AI before you ask for anything. A better prompt sounds like this: act as a calm customer service assistant. Write a short email to a customer whose order arrived damaged. The goal is to acknowledge the frustration, apologize without overpromising, explain the next step, and keep the tone warm and professional. Notice the difference here. You did not just say write an email. You gave the AI the role, the situation, the goal, and the tone. So the four pieces of a good brief are role, task, audience, and context. When AI disappoints you, check those four things first. Mistake number two, asking AI to try again without telling it what was wrong. This mistake can eat up a ridiculous amount of time. You get a bad response from ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, or Gemini, and then you type try again. The AI gives you a different bad response. Then you type make it better. And now you're in this weird cycle with the LLM. The diagnosis here is that try again does not give the LLM enough feedback. It does not tell the AI what to keep, what to remove, what to change, or what standard to use. The cure is to give corrective instructions in four parts. And your four parts are: keep this, remove this, change this, and add this. Remember to add text after the instruction. So, for example, to use this, you could say, keep this apology, remove the overly formal language, change the tone so it sounds more human, and add one clear next step the customer can take. Notice that that's a lot more useful than asking the LLM to try again. And here's a prompt that you can screenshot or write down for your own use. Revise your last answer, keep what worked, remove what did not work, change the specific issue, and add the missing detail. So everything in brackets is the portion that you'll add. And that's how you'll coach the AI instead of arguing with it. Mistake number three, trusting citations without checking them. This one's important for anyone who creates blog posts, client reports, newsletters, social content, or legal, medical, or financial adjacent topics, and anything else where being wrong could damage trust. So, our diagnosis here is that the AI can sound confident even when it's wrong. It may summarize correctly, but it may also misunderstand a source, cite something outdated, or give you a link that does not support the claim. So, our cure is to use AI as a research assistant, not as the final authority. Here's your prompt for mistake 3. Give me a summary, but separate confirmed facts from assumptions. For each important claim, tell me what source I should verify before publishing. Do not invent citations. If you are unsure, say so. That one line, separate confirmed facts from assumptions, can save you from publishing something that sounds smart but falls apart when someone clicks the link. For a small business example, if AI helps you write a blog post about new tax rules or industry trends, do not just copy and paste. Ask the LLM which claims need verification, then actually check the source. So note that AI can definitely help you move faster, but you'll still need to double check what it provides. Mistake number 4, uploading too much at once. This happens when someone drops a 60-page PDF and 3 transcripts and 5 emails and a spreadsheet. And then it tells Gemini, Claude, Perplexity, or ChatGPT, summarize this. Let me be completely truthful here. Yes, technically, the LLMs can do this. But our diagnosis and issue here is that you've given the AI a pile of information without giving it the pathway it needs. The more material you add, the easier it is for the AI to miss what's important, blend details together, or give you a summary that is technically long but not actually useful for your specific needs. So, our cure here is it's always better to break a big task into stages when you're working with AI software. And we can do this breaking down into 3 stages. Stage 1, ask the AI to identify what is in the material. Stage 2, ask the AI to extract only what matters for your specific goals. And stage 3, ask the AI to create the final output. So if you're working on a project and you upload 5 supplier emails, instead of asking the AI, what should I do? Try this prompt. First, create a table with the sender, deadline, requested action, dollar amount, risk level, and the questions that I need to ask. Do not draft a reply yet. So we're going to identify, extract, and then create. Identify what's there, extract the information that matters, and create the final output. Using these 3 stages in that order will save you so much time. Mistake number 5, giving conflicting instructions. This one's sneaky because you may not realize you're doing it. You might say, make this detailed but keep it short, or sound friendly and professional but also urgent and casual. Or write exactly 500 words but make it brief enough for a busy executive. So, our diagnosis here is that the AI is trying to satisfy instructions that are fighting each other. When that happens, the response often feels uneven. The response may be too long, too vague, too formal, or just plain weird. So, our cure here is to rank your instructions. Tell the AI which instructions matter the most to you. For example, you could give it this prompt: Priority 1, clarity. Priority 2, warmth. Priority 3, brevity. And if these conflict, choose clarity first. That's a simple cure. Give the AI a decision rule. And of course, the priority will change depending on your current task. So for a customer complaint email, clarity matters more than clever wording. For a sales page headline, curiosity may matter more than detail. And for a meeting summary, accuracy matters more than sounding fancy. Here's a tip. If a prompt has more than three conditions or constraints, rank them. Mistake number 6, using exact word counts. Yes, we talked about word count in the conditions and constraints portion of our perfect prompt formula video that's linked in the description. But sometimes when you say write exactly 100 words, you may get annoyed if the answer you get is 94 words or 113 words. So our diagnosis is that AI is much better at following length ranges and format limits than it is at following exact word counts. The cure here is to use ranges or structure-based limits. So a better version of this is to say, write 90 to 120 words. Use 3 short paragraphs. Keep each paragraph under 3 sentences. Or another way to word this would be to say, write a brief email that can be read in under 30 seconds. That gives AI a more realistic target. And if you're using this for business content, structure usually matters more than the exact word count. A clear 5-sentence email is better than a perfect 100-word email that sounds stiff. So our cure here is simple. Use ranges, sentence limits, paragraph limits, or reading time limits. On to mistake number 7, expecting one perfect prompt to get you a perfect answer. This is where people think if I just find the magic prompt, AI will give me the perfect answer every time. The diagnosis here is that AI works best in a short workflow, not in one magic sentence or one single magic prompt. So the cure here is to use a prompt stack. So a prompt stack is just a sequence of prompts that build upon each other. For example, if you're improving a blog post outline, instead of starting with write the full blog post, use this stack of prompts. Number 1, ask me 5 questions about my audience and my goal. Number 2, create a simple outline. Number 3, critique the outline for missing sections. Number 4, revise the outline. Number 5, draft the intro. It's not complicated, but you're stacking so your instructions give the AI a process. So we'll ask, outline, critique, revise, and draft. The magic is not one perfect prompt. The magic is using the prompts in the right order. Mistake number 8, using AI for private data without redaction. This one is big for business owners, freelancers, real estate agents, HR consultants, recruiters, and anyone who works with sensitive client data. The diagnosis here is that you may be giving the AI information that it doesn't need: names, phone numbers, email addresses, client files, account numbers, internal pricing, employee issues, and customer records. All of that should be handled very carefully. The cure is, depending on your end goals, you may need to redact before you prompt. If you're a real estate agent writing a series of follow-ups to potential clients that you met at an open house, you may be okay loading limited information into the AI to draft those emails. But if you're dealing with a customer complaint, then instead of pasting that complaint with the customer's full name, address, order number, phone number, and payment details, replace those details with placeholders in brackets. Use customer name, order number, city, issue, and deadline in brackets. So a safer prompt may say, I have redacted private details. Draft a response to customer name about issue. Do not mention private account details. Do not create policies or promises that are not provided. Notice that last sentence. Do not create policies or promises that are not provided. This protects you from the AI saying something like, we will refund you immediately, when that may not be your actual policy. Mistake number 9, letting the AI make final decisions. AI can help you compare options, organize pros and cons, draft responses, and spot risks. but it should not be the final decision maker for your business, your money, your legal situation, your health, or your reputation. So, our diagnosis here is that the AI can optimize for sounding decisive when the decision needs human judgment. Our cure is to ask the AI to support your decision, not to replace your decision. So, here we'll use this prompt. Give me three options, the pros and cons of each, the risks I may be missing, and the questions I should answer before deciding. Do not make the final decision for me. That is how you turn AI into a thinking partner. The cure is not let AI decide. The cure is let AI prepare me to decide. And finally, mistake number 10, not saving good prompts. So you finally get a series of great prompts that work. They give you the perfect customer email, the perfect blog outline, the perfect meeting summary, or the perfect offer rewrite. Then you close your browser tab and you lose the prompts. Diagnosis. You're rebuilding your workflow from scratch every time, and that's a real issue. So your cure is to always create and maintain a prompt library. This prompt library does not have to be anything fancy. It can be something simple. You can use Google Docs, a Notion page, Apple Notes folder, an MS Word doc, a Canva doc, or even a spreadsheet. The tool doesn't matter, it's the habit that matters. So here's the simplest format. List again the prompt name, the use case, the actual prompt verbatim, and any notes. And that's it. And here's a little homework. Select one task that you use AI for regularly, emails, meeting notes, blog outlines, whatever it is. Use these prompts to transform them. And that's it. That prompt library will save you a ton of time, and I bet you'll find yourself going back to it over and over again. So let me know, do you have a prompt library yet? What do you usually do with your prompts? How do you normally maintain the prompts that you have that you've used so far? And if you don't have a prompt library or you'd like to build one, I've got something for you in just a second. And you can get free information on what we've covered in this video in the free Beginner Boss Rescue System. It's inside my free AI Prompt Boss School, and you'll get the free prompts to fix your AI mistakes and also get the boss framework. We ran out of time, so I didn't get to cover everything today, but it's on that guide. It also includes 5 more bonus prompts that I didn't have time to cover in this video, and it has a mistake to prompt roadmap, so you know exactly which prompt to use and when to use it. Also, I created the prompt library that I suggested for you a couple of minutes ago. It's already preloaded with several prompts and bonus prompts, and it also contains spaces for you to add your own personal prompts. You can open it in Google Docs or the document software of your choice and continue building your prompt library. Again, the Beginner Boss system is free and is linked below. You've got this, bestie. Happy prompting, and I'll see you next time.